Welcome. Going to have a link down below to credit Awful Announcing, the website that I chose to click on, even though everybody's talking about it in case you weren't aware of it. And I'll add a little bit of extra information from other articles and news sources that have been passing around this tidbit of information. Not only are people upset that The Rock has inserted himself into the WrestleMania 40 main event against Roman Reigns, there's rumors that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has more power backstage than Triple H. Now, that could be a rumor, but supposedly that is accurate. It's quite possible. People are so fed up, some people are returning Cody Rhodes and Rock merchandise that they've purchased. I don't know why you would take that out on Cody Rhodes, but they're pissed off. And he reacted on Instagram to the backlash. He basically said, tough skin, love the passion. In other words, he can take it that he's getting criticized. But what does he truly feel? Right? Some people think he's a narcissist. I personally love The Rock. I don't know him personally. But when you do look at his feud with Vin Diesel with the Fast Furious series, I want to say like the vast majority of people tend to back up Vin Diesel and not The Rock. Me, again, I'm remaining neutral because I don't know either person. I've never worked with The Rock. He doesn't know of my existence. I just know of the several years of entertainment he's provided to me, along with Vin Diesel. So I just kind of remain neutral. But you can sort of get a feel for a person usually through interviews, how they interact with fans in the real world and all that. So he basically went on Instagram and recapped his pop that he got, said that he loves the energy, the connection's unbreakable and all that stuff, the people's champ, and then that's when he said at the end, P.S. Tough skin, love the passion. And I do believe, honestly, that he's not bothered by it. Multi-millionaire, I mean, money or not, you think he really, I shouldn't say he doesn't care, I don't think he's bothered by it. People love him. They don't love the position he's inserted himself into. I've talked about this before in a couple of videos, so I don't want to kind of beat a dead horse. I still don't know where that expression comes from. Why not beat a dead cow? Anyways. So the reason I enjoyed the whole Cody versus Roman Reigns, there's only really, to be honest with you, at this point, for me personally, there's only one reason why I would much prefer Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at the main event versus Seth Rollins. Because on the surface, that could seem a little bit like, oh, well, what's wrong with Seth's title? What's wrong with Seth Rollins? He's a valid champion. And he is. I think it's because one thing you can't take away, even though, of course, it's scripted, is the fact that Roman Reigns is basically untouchable. He's closing in September, as I've mentioned before, third longest reign in the history of professional wrestling. Third, or currently fourth, to Hogan. Hogan, I think, is number 3. Bob Backlund's number 2. Bruno Sammartino is number 1. So there's that whole thing with the title eluding the Rhodes family and finishing the story. You could do it with Seth Rollins. It's just the impact won't be as big because of the emphasis that we've put on Roman Reigns practically being untouchable. I mean, he barely shows up, and when he does, he barely ever defends the title. And then when he does, it always ends up in a clusterfuck of his bloodline members interfering inside the matches. So it makes you wonder, like, there's no end in sight to this guy's reign, literally. So there's that. There's a little bit more like, holy shit, it's finally been done. Whereas if somebody beats Seth, with all due respect, it's like, oh, okay. Like, the title actually has more meaning on Seth Rollins, but the wow factor is bigger with Roman Reigns because of how long he's had the title for, like I said. And there's also that history. There's that back and forth originally when he first won the Rumble in 2023. He had the promos with Roman Reigns. They actually go far back. Roman Reigns knew Dusty Rhodes, okay? And would talk about Roman and stuff like that and Cody. Like, there's so much history there. It is absolutely insane. It's more than just a thrown together kind of segment, right? Like, there's actual history there with the Rhodes family and Reigns. Then you throw in how long he's had the title for, and then him finally finishing the story, because we've put so much emphasis on that for, 18-ish, 19 months? Closing in close to 2 years-ish by Mania. So that's why I think fans are pissed off. And again, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel about anything in life. Doesn't matter if it's your feelings on Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson, Donald Trump, Biden, anything that's controversial. This is controversial, just not in the same light as those other people I've mentioned. You're allowed to feel whatever you want, and it's really not a big deal. What is fun to do is debate and have discussions as to why people perhaps feel the way they do. And sometimes there really isn't an explanation, right? Just like in politics. Why do some people prefer one president over another? Sometimes they don't necessarily have a thing that they can just spiel out of their mouth that explains to you and fully encompasses where their feelings are coming from. It's just the way it is. Why do some people believe in God? Some don't, right? It's just sometimes something happens or doesn't happen in your life that just leads you to whatever conclusion it is that you have. And it's fun to explore and tap into people's psyche to find out what perhaps brought them to their conclusion of feelings. But for fans now to start attacking each other, come on, man, if you don't see the bigger picture, some will say it's The Rock. It's got more pull than Cody. That could potentially be true. It could be better from a business perspective, from a financial perspective. But what's best for business, in my opinion, which really is not relevant, it's what people have already discussed. I mean, I came up with the idea. I'm saying I came up with it in the sense that I've thought of it before anybody else mentioned it. It's really not that revolutionary. Is where The Rock would be special guest referee. The problem with that is I don't think that that's going to happen, simply because Cody said, I'm coming for that title, just not at Mania. He made it very clear that that's not where it's happening, but it's on the grandest stages of them all. So that's my thoughts on that. I still think Cody versus Roman Reigns is the better match than against Seth Rollins. You could have The Rock versus Reigns, but it doesn't have to be for the title. And that could be at SummerSlam or something like that, right? After Reigns has lost the title or whatever. Now, naturally, people on the Rock side are going to be like, well, that's all fine and dandy, but now it's SummerSlam, arguably the second biggest pay-per-view of the, I was going to say the summer, the only one of the summer, second one of the year, but it won't have as much pizzazz because there's no title on the line. I get that, because there's that whole, oh my God, what if this ancient dinosaur actually wins the title? We're about the same age, by the way. I have watched every single WrestleMania in existence live. Okay? Back when color TVs were not always color. I still had, in my house, we had multiple TVs. One of them was black and white. Anyhow, it's wild. I don't think I've... Oh, that's what I was going to say. I had a brain dead moment there for a moment. What I meant to say with all these WrestleManias, all these pay-per-views, having watched every single one of them in history live, I don't recall ever remembering this much backlash for an event. And I'm not saying it's not warranted. I'm just kind of going, it is what it is. You can voice your opinion. You can protest all you want online. Hashtag we want Cody. And I think that's great, because people are being vocal. They're sharing how they feel. And I think The Rock reacted well to it. Like I said, I don't know him personally. Some people will say, well, he's just doing that because he's on social media. But inside, he's like, fuck them motherfuckers. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, is it too soon for me to say this? I think it's safe to say that The Rock is probably, a better person than Vince McMahon. It's just not looking good for him, right? Brock Lesnar, again, still mixed on that. I don't know what to think of that. But anyway, staying on the topic at hand here, let me know down below what you think. Was this the biggest faux pas? The biggest upset in history in terms of this being a misstep? My little mouse cursor almost made it look like he had an animated bull ring because, the Brahma. Anyways. Yeah, let me know what you think. Are you pissed off? Are you going to boycott return merchandise? Is that how angry you are because you want to make it perfectly clear how upset you are? I'm still going to watch it because there's still those people like, yeah, you're complaining, but you're still going to watch it. Yeah, what's wrong with that? You can still complain about something and still partake in it, right? So that's kind of a weird saying, oh, you're still going to watch it. Doesn't prevent you from being allowed to voice your thoughts on it. Oh, this game is going to have this and that. Yeah, you're still buying it. Great. Still feeling the way I am about it. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I say that a lot. It's always going to be interesting, isn't it? To see how that develops. And what I mean by that is, could the angle change? Is it possible that somehow it'll be turned into a triple threat? Anything could happen. I still think that'd be weird. Some people were saying that'd be a good idea. Me, to be rude, I think that's a dumb idea. I personally don't think The Rock should be in the match, period. I'm not saying he shouldn't be at Mania, but he's had his time to shine. He's had the belts multiple times. Cody has never finished the story. We've put so much emphasis on that. Almost more than anybody else in history, as far as I can remember, where they're chasing that dream and they're constantly going on about it from a scripted perspective. So yeah. Not angry. I'm just more mystified, if that makes sense. And yes, I am still going to watch it, and I am still going to be glued to the screen, and I'm going to want to pay real close attention and make sure I don't blink 182 times a minute so that I don't miss the moment. Thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and making me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. So they say. A thumbs down if you didn't like it. And as always, I'll bend it in half, I'll twist it, and a solo Sokoa Samoan spike in the rectum. With a rock bottom, because then you'd land on your back with solos. Why am I visualizing this? What's wrong with me? And if you want to subscribe to the channel, exactly, I don't even need to finish that sentence. You know what to do, if you want to. And if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And perhaps I shall see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.